In this video, we are going to explore some of the very useful methods from string class. So let's find the documentation on the string class, and for that let's search for string class in Apex on Google, and you will find a reference to Salesforce developers docs. So here let's open this link and it will take us to the Apex developer guide, which is the official developer guide to learn Apex. Now here in this string class we have quite a lot of methods, and we are going to explore some of the very useful or some of the very important methods from the string class. So the first method that we are going to explore is capitalize method. So let me go to my developer console, and here I'm going to create a string variable. Let's call it str. I am a string variable. So here first let's print this string as is. So system.debug. Let's call it like actual string, and let's print the value of str. Now what I'll do, I'll simply change the I to small I. And now if you want to capitalize this string, that means if you want to make the first letter in capital case, then you can use capitalize method here. So I'm going to add a comment here, and I'll use a debug statement, and this will be a capitalized string. So to make it capitalized, we simply need to call the capitalize method, and this will return us the capitalized string. So let's execute this code, and the second string that we will see in our debug logs should be capitalized. So here in our first string, which is the actual string, I is in small case, but in the second string I is in uppercase. So here's another important method, which is contains, and you can use this method to find out if the string variable contains a particular substring. For example, we can check if our string variable, which is this one, contains the word ring. So let's do that. Contains example. I'm going to use system debug contains ring, and we can simply use our contains method. So str dot contains, and here you need to define your substring, which is ring. So in our case the output should be true because our string definitely has the substring ring in it. So let's execute our code. Click on debug only, and the output is true. Now let's also explore some of the other useful methods, like converting a string to uppercase or lowercase. So here to convert your string to uppercase, you simply need to use a method called toUppercase. str dot toUppercase. So this will convert your string to uppercase, and to convert it to lowercase, you simply need to change the toUppercase method to lowercase. Let's execute our code, and now we should see two more string in our output. The first one is in capital case and the second one is in lowercase. Let's go back to the string class and find out few more useful methods. So you can use a method called ends with, just to check if your string ends with a particular substring or not. You can also use the method equals to match your string with some other value. For example, let's try to use this equals method, and this returns either true or false. So here I'll use one more debug statement, use of equals, or maybe like is equal to ring, So what we'll do, we'll try to match our string, which is I am a string variable, to a substring called ring. So str dot equals ring, and this is definitely false because our string is I am a string variable and we are trying to match it with ring, so this should definitely return as false. Now let's execute this one. Click on debug only, and this is false. Let's also try this equals method on couple more string. So let's create few more string variable. First one, let's call it like Manish, and second one we are going to call again Manish but with a small m. Now let's try to compare str1 with str2. So let me copy this and here let's check out str1 equals to str2, and we are going to use str1 here, and instead of ring we are going to supply str2 variable here. And now let's execute our code. So what do you think would be the output? Will it be true or false? It is false because our second string has m in small case. So how you can avoid this? How you can ignore the case and still match your string? For that you can convert your str1 to either lowercase or uppercase first, and do the same with str2 as well, and then you can match your string. So what I'll do, I'll still use my debug statement, and this time I'm going to ignore the case. So first I'm going to convert my str1 to lowercase. So this is going to convert Manish to Manish again with small m, and then I'm going to match it with str2. So after two lowercase I'll still use my equals method and then str2 to lowercase, although it's not necessary in our case because our str2 is already in lowercase, or maybe like we can change the n to capital N. Now it should be a good example. And now if we'll execute this code, we should see true in our output, because we are converting both the strings to lowercase and then we are matching it. So this time we are ignoring the case and the output is true. Let's go to the string class and find out few more useful methods. Okay, so there is a method called index of, which you can supply a substring, and this is going to return the location or the index of that substring. For example, if you supply ring to our str variable, then it's going to return the location of this ring, which should be somewhere around 12 or 13. So you can try it out on your own. Let me pick some other examples. So yeah, there is a method called length which returns the length of the string, so you can use this as well. There is a method called remove which removes the particular character from your string. So let's try this one. So this time we are using remove method, system.debug, and we are going to remove the ring from our string. So str.remove, and we are going to remove ring. So this will return me the string output after removing this part of the string. So let me execute this code. So this time our output is I am a st variable, so it has removed the ring substring from this particular variable. I have a spelling mistake here. Now let me go back to my string class, and you can also use the replace method to replace one part of your string with another one. For example, this time let's actually copy this one and we are going to replace this ring with wrong. So this would be like I am a strong variable. So let's use our replace method and click on execute, and we have got an error and it says method does not exist or incorrect signature. Let me go back to the okay, so we need to define our target first and then the replacement. So first we need to define ring here, as we want to replace ring, and then the value that we want to replace it with. We want to replace ring with wrong, and now let's execute our code. It should work fine, and the output should be I am a strong variable. So it's working fine. Let's go back to string class, and there are few more methods that you will be using on daily basis, like split. So you may have to split your string by some character. For example, you may get a string with comma separated value, and then if you want to break that string by comma, then you can use split variable. In our case, we are going to split our string by a space. So our string has, I guess, 1 2 3 4 space, and the output of this where is it, and the output of this split method is a list. So this will be a list of string. So instead of a simple string variable, we are going to get a list of string variable in our output. So let me do system.debug, and here split by space, and this will be like str.split, and then there is a space. Now if we'll execute this code, we'll get a list of string in output. So we'll get, I guess, 5 items, 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, so now we have got a array of string, or you can also call it list of string with 5 items. Okay, so let's go back to string class and let's have a look at few more string methods. So yeah, there is one. You can use this trim method to trim the white space from your string. So like if your string has any white space at the beginning or at the end, for example, if our string has a space at the beginning and at the end, then the trim method is going to remove this extra space from the string. Then you can use the value of method to convert any other data type to a string. For example, if you have a integer data type and you want to convert it to string, then you can use value of method, and this method supports all type of data type. So it accepts integer, it also accepts a double, decimal, date or date time, or it also accepts an object as well. Apart from this, there are few more important methods like this one, is blank and is empty. So when you use is blank, then it's going to return true or false based on if your string is empty or not. So if your string has only white space, so it doesn't have any other character except white space, or if it's completely empty, or if it's null, then the is blank is going to return true, else it's going to return false. The is empty method is very similar to is blank, but it ignores the white space. For example, if your string has white space, then it will return false, but if your string is empty or null, then it's going to return true. Then there's is numeric, and this method simply evaluates your string and it checks if your string only contains numbers or digits. If that is the case, then it returns true, else it returns false. Then there's one more method called is white space. So if your string only has white space and there's no other character in your string, then this method returns true, else it returns false. So yeah, these are some of the useful methods from string class. Try it on your own, explore as many methods as you can from this class, as the string is something that you will be working with on daily basis and you will be using these methods quite a lot. So that's all in this video. I'll see you guys in the next video.